What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bomarito Automotive Group. Bomarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Bomarito has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Bomarito team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Sisi from Shop Siham. I'm today here, St. Louis Bucket List, and I'm so excited. So tune in, make sure to watch it. I'm talking about my business, but not just this, also about my childhood, about trauma, about burn survivors, misaggio, designing, being immigrant, all of these fun things. So tune in, make sure. St. Louis Bucket List.
For 50 years, Bankhead & Firth Orthodontics has been proudly serving the vibrant St. Louis community. As a family-owned and operated practice since day one, the commitment to excellence and personalized care runs deep. They believe in giving back to the wonderful people of St. Louis who have entrusted them with their smiles. Step into the 5 locations across St. Louis with modern offices equipped with the latest orthodontic technology. Their 3 amazing doctors are dedicated to providing top-notch, innovative treatments tailored just for you. Join us in celebrating 50 years with Bankhead & Firth Orthodontics, where your family becomes a part of theirs. Schedule your free consultation today and let them help you achieve the confident, gorgeous smile that you deserve. Because in St. Louis, your smile is your legacy.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune in to the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the show that supports the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. My wife and co-host and mother of my daughter, Marissa, is still out. We're still trying to find a way to work together to record these episodes. So kind of teamwork makes the dream work. We're going to get these episodes out every Wednesday for you. Thank you to all of our partners. Thank you to our studio, Half Coast Studios, for allowing us to continue to record amazing episodes that air on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all the other platforms that you guys listen to podcasts in. But today we have a very special podcast. We have Sisi Surgant of Shop Siham, and she is an incredible entrepreneur, public speaker, also an immigrant to St. Louis, a transplant to this area. So it's really cool to get to highlight you in the Midwest on the St. Louis Bucket List Show. So thank you for making the time.
Thank you for having me, really.
So I want to learn a little bit about you guys. So I'm going to read something from your website. Okay. And then I'm going to have you talk about your story.
Oh, okay.
So Sisi, this is on your website, the extraordinary founder of Shop Siham and the creative force behind Misaggio, embodies resilience, strength, and unwavering commitment to empowering women. Raised in Germany to immigrant parents of Moroccan descent, Sisi's journey has been marked by both triumph and adversity. From surviving a burn accident at a tender age to navigating the challenges of being a child of immigrants, Sisi's resilience has always shone through. Does that sound right?
Yes.
You wrote that?
Yeah, kind of.
So tell us about you. So tell us about your childhood. Tell us about some memorable moments, maybe some upbringing challenges that you went through, and kind of what led you to being here today.
Yes, of course. So I was born to a Moroccan mom and a Tunisian dad. So it's North Africa, Mediterranean area in Germany. Grew up very good parenthood, like parents and all of it. When I was 1, I had a really bad burn accident. Tea, like hot tea with sugar in it, got dropped on me and it kind of glue on my skin. It was very bad. I was maybe 6 till 12 weeks, I don't know exactly, in the ICU. So they were pretty sure I'm not surviving this. But funny enough, I survived because I was such a fat baby. Apparently, that's what the doctor said to my mom. So
it didn't go all the way through. You had a little
so
padding.
it didn't. Yes, exactly. So that helped me. So it made me survive.
Yeah.
And then just growing up in Germany, I feel like I never really recognized it, but it was always a little bit maybe odd because I was a kid of immigrants. So my first day in school, I didn't even speak the German language, which was really tough. And I was actually pretty excited about school, but no, I was bullied a lot. Different skin color, different hair, different, not speaking the language. And then on top of all of it, being also like having scars, like my body is full of scars. So it was really tough. But as a child, I just feel like you don't really feel sorry for yourself. You just sad or just kind of go through this. So that was pretty much my childhood. At some point when I was a little bit older, I kind of found myself and who I am and got more confident and kind of tried to be the good girl and help people a lot and all those things. I didn't have a good setup school-wise, I would say, because of the language barrier and because I didn't have really big support at home, which comes to school, of course.
Right.
Otherwise, I had great parents. That was tough. So at some point, I just went back to school and did all of this because I just wanted to have a good degree. And I did. I was already older. So I was in a very toxic relationship. And I just decided, you know what, I go study abroad to Australia, run away from my problems, which I did. And I finished it there. And after that, I broke up and I felt myself and relived and started backpacking after that and met the love of my life in Thailand on a paradise island. Had a long distance. And then at some point I came to visit for a long time and he proposed. I stayed. 2 kids later, I'm here.
So your husband is from St. Louis.
He is from St. Louis.
So how did you guys meet? Tell us about that love story.
Okay.
How long ago was that? How did you guys meet? Because that's pretty crazy that you met a man in the middle of the Midwest all the way 5,000 miles away in Thailand.
Exactly. That's like, that gets everybody confused because, so I was backpacking in Thailand. He was actually also, he took like a year off and was backpacking. He was all over. So one night I met my sister in Thailand and we wanted to go partying and we walk on this island and I look over and I see him and I'm like, oh, did you see that guy? So we start talking and then I thought that's it. The next morning I met him again and we exchanged Facebook because, no phones. And we kept just talking. He at some point quit his job. He had like a little side job there. So he quit it and he chased me to a different island in Thailand. And ever since, like, we've just traveled together. I went back to Germany. Then we went to Vietnam together for a whole month. I went back. I was trying so hard. I was like, this cannot work out. I'm not moving to the United States. Never, ever.
Have you ever been to the United States before then?
I did. I did come to visit and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I like actually as a child, I was dreaming having this typical life, being a cheerleader, married to, dating a football player, all of this. And and then both of us tried hard to resist this relationship, but it was so easier than ever with anyone. And then at some point he calls me and he says, do you want to go on a Valentine's date? And I naively think like, oh, it's a Zoom maybe, like, video chat. I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, good, because I booked your ticket to come visit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And believe me, all the families were against us. Like, nobody wanted me, nobody wanted him. And we did, and it was better than ever. And I'm like, great. I'm getting even deeper to this relationship. So went to visit him for 3 months, went back again to Germany, came back again 3 months. Then we got run to some trouble because you cannot stay that long in America if you're not American. And then we just knew we don't want to be separated. He proposed. And
wow. And what year did you guys get married?
We got married 2018.
Oh, wow. So that's only 6 years ago.
Exactly, yeah. I'm here since 6 years.
Oh, wow. So you have little kids?
Yes, I have a 4-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
that's
you know
amazing.
yourself. This is the best
as a
thing
new
ever.
dad. And I like to talk to other parents because my daughter's only 13 weeks old today. So just navigating, your life the way it was when you have kids, it's a completely different ballgame. It changes your life. But I want to kind of talk more about your upbringing before we get into your family and other things like that. So were you always into what you're doing now? Was fashion a big part of your life when you were younger? But it sounds like you were backpacking, you were doing all these crazy things. Like you didn't have a firm direction on what you wanted out of life yet. So tell us about some of your interests before getting into what you got in now. What other careers that you followed?
Oof, boy. So I have a lot of interest. So you're right. I didn't even know that I will be ending here, even if it was pretty clear now to me because my mom was a tailor. So when I grew up, she was always making our clothes, and I always told her, "Oh, can you make me this kind of dress?" Like I went very crazy, and she did actually. So I always loved fashion. And when I was a little child, I also always asked for fashion instead of toys. Can I please get this skirt? So it was always very important to me, like fashion. So, but I still didn't know. And then like I said, I was not good at school. I finished my school. I kind of had just to pick something. And I went into hairdress. How do you call it?
Cosmetology.
No, hair, like, oh my God. Making hair.
Oh, yes, yeah, like extensions. Yeah, hairdresser. Yep.
So that's how it started. Yeah. And then I kind of like almost finished it. And then I'm like, towards the end, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it was like the inner child in me because I was always failing in life. I was always failing. And I was like, I'm probably not going to get that degree. And I just developed this stupid strategy that if I break up something, that I will not fail. And nobody thinks I'm stupid. So people just think I'm not reasonable or, like not responsible, like irresponsible. Yeah. So that was easier on me to look like this than being stupid. Because when I grew up, a lot of people said that about me, because I was not good in school. So that's kind of my strategy. So I broke that up. Then I went to the cosmetology school. I actually finished that one also just like got it done. Then I worked for a lot of fashion designers. I traveled around Germany for YSL, big designer, which is my absolute icon favorite.
Yes. Yeah, they're great. Yeah. They're super big now, with younger people too.
Exactly.
Like their bags and everything that they do now. Yeah. Which is new, I think, because they've always been a great brand. It's just now that young people love their purses.
Exactly. Now everybody is kind of, it's more like, you can reach it better for younger people. Yeah, I love him. I feel like I have like a very deep connection. It sounds even crazy because he is French, but he was born in Algeria, which is like close to Morocco, and he had like this big houses in Morocco, and every time I go to Morocco, I go to his garden. So I always felt the connection, and he like just loved Morocco, and I'm Moroccan. I'm like, okay, he's my guy. So yeah, so I was very proud of myself. So I was very established in what I was doing, but somehow, like after a while, I was just walking into the YSL office in Munich, like the headquarters, and I see all those fancy women working there, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do. I want to be there. So I go to this lady, naively say like, hey, what do I have to do to sit where you sit? And she goes like, oh, you have to finish, you have to be in a university and have your degree and do. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
What were they salespeople? Or
they were in marketing, human resource, all those things. So I just loved this idea of being like...
They were at all the events. They were the PR team.
And dressed up and working for YSL. So I'm like, I want to do that. So I'm like, not happening for me because I don't have a degree to do that. So
exactly.
And then I was working for a guy after that, and he had like this store, and he was super cute. Like he was like, hey, everybody who works for me, I want you to pick something and get your degrees in something. And I was like, okay, I take advantage of it. And I did. And I started like getting my degrees. And then at some point I was all of a sudden able to go to so Germany is a different system. It's not like here you go back to school, you do a year or you make your exams and then you can go to the university. No, you have to go all the way back and do year by year. So it took me kind of 8 years almost to go back and study and all this stuff. So I did all of it, and then kind of the last thing on my wish list was like a study abroad, and I knew this is my last chance, and I was in a very bad relationship, so I was like, this is my chance. So took off Australia, and this is kind of where my story here I feel like this is where I got kind of reborn in the person that I actually always wanted to be.
It's funny how life works like that. It's always like, and that's what I tell people, your life is made up of all these small decisions that you make. If you would have never decided to go to Australia and then through Thailand, you never would have met the love of your life. You never would be here sitting on this podcast thousands of miles away from where you were. If you could have just still been working at YSL in marketing or whatever, and then eventually you realize that it's not as good as it really looks. Like, are those people really happy?
Exactly.
They look nice. They look like nice, movie stars. They look like the girls in the Sex and the City in the movies, and they're all like, and all that. But it's really, life is made up of all these small decisions. Now you have your own brand, but more importantly, you're a mom, you're a partner to someone, and you're building a life in St. Louis. So tell me about your story of moving to St. Louis, because I'm sure that was another culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
Because, first being in Germany, not speaking the language, now you're in Missouri, where everybody speaks the same language. Everybody knows each other. Your husband probably has all these friends that he knows from childhood, and you don't know anybody. You feel left out. So tell us about that journey of getting here and how you kind of made your foots in this city.
Okay. So I moved here kind of surprised, because when I came to visit him, I was planning on going back to Germany, but they told us, oh, if you go back now, you cannot enter the USA for a whole year and all those things. And we just knew we don't want to be separated. So I kind of stayed. He proposed, we got married, I stayed.
Right.
So it was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I was very naive. I was thinking oh, you fine, just go back to work. I could just go downtown and go to a cafe and hang out and see what I can do. But joke's on me, because it was not like the European way to live. So in Europe, you go downtown and there's a lot of people everywhere. You can just people watch. So I go downtown and I felt like back in 2018, it's like a ghost city. That's how I felt.
Right.
I'm like, where are the people? I mean, now I know you go to certain areas when you want to hang out here or there, Soulard or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was very tough on me, and I had no friends, and I really didn't want to. I loved my husband's friends, but I wanted to have my own group, my own people, and just feeling myself. So what I did, my sister told me, how about you go on Bumble BFF?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bumble?
Yeah.
I'm married. She's like, no, there's a Bumble BFF. So I did that, and I met my friends, very close friends to me through Bumble.
I didn't even know that there was a BFF one.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
great. It's amazing.
I know, you're like, why would I go on there? I'm already married.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? So it was amazing, and this is kind of how I started having friends here and living my life, and I was super happy about it.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant. After that, we were married, and I got pregnant, and we had our first baby, and I was a stay-at-home mom. That was a little bit tough, because you feel a little bit, if your parents are not here, your siblings, nobody's here. I love my parents-in-law and my husband's family. Thank goodness they are here. But still, if your own family is not here, it's a little bit tough. So I went through all this, and then we had our second child, and then I was still a stay-at-home mom. I kind of always went back and forth, Germany here, Europe here, Morocco, Tunisia. And every time I came back, people asked me, hey, where did you get this dress, this for? It's all your clothes. And then at some point I was like, you know what? This is maybe something I should start doing, actually finding European-inspired pieces.
Yeah.
And start maybe a website and start selling them. This is kind of how everything started. And then now, later, I finally got the chance to design myself and get really...
Because you bring stuff that people don't have access to. And you're like, hey, this is just normal for me there. Or this is stuff that I'm inspired by in Morocco or in Tunisia or any of these other countries that you've been to. But now you have this woman in the Midwest that's like, hey, I want to feel like that. Hey, I'm going on vacation to Italy, or I'm going to Florida, and I just want to wear a dress that looks like the sun, and it's you buy these things, and then 16 other girls have the same dress when you go out on the things,
exactly,
because there's only so many of so much stuff. But really it sounds like here, reading through your website and doing all that, it's beyond just the clothing, it's beyond just the fashion, it's to support and empower other women. So tell me a little bit more about your mission statement and what that means to you, and to have that group of women supporting.
So this is I would say this, my heart, my whole heart is in this. I didn't plan on this when I started, because it was more about fashion. And I felt like the girls here in St. Louis, they really want to have access to European fashion. They're all very stylish. They want to have more resources. So that's how I started. And now it all of a sudden became more like a community, like a women's community, because I really try hard to make a point that not every woman has to be super skinny or super tall, which doesn't mean I love skinny and tall girls too. It's everyone is welcome. There's a place for everyone on the table. It doesn't matter if you are, like me, an immigrant, or if you have scars. And this is I think very important to me, the scars part, because there's basically no supermodels out there who have scars. So diverse, I love diverse, different body shapes, and especially the scars. And it's not just about the external scars, it's also about internal scars. So women who went through really hard times, or survived and got out of it better. That's why I love using the phoenix, the bird, as a emblem. I think that's how you say that. Just because it's like kind of for heroines.
Yeah. And that's like the internal scars that are sometimes worse than the ones that happen, because when you had that burn happen, you don't even remember that situation, but it's affected you in life because, I wanted to hear about that because, as a young girl and me having a daughter, I know that, sometimes self-esteem issues come up with that. Was that never an issue with you with your burn scars? Were you nervous? Were you hiding them? Were you making clothes that hid them? Yeah.
So what gets me all emotional? It's funny because I always thought that I'm super, super confident. Even when I moved here, I was like, oh, I don't care. I have scars and please just ask me. I just never liked if somebody was staring. Just like, hey, just ask me. I have no problem with sharing. But when I started this whole Shop Siham, and then I thought like, oh, I want to connect it to something bigger and help maybe kids, because I had kids myself and I wanted to give back to kids. But I was somehow very ignorant to the fact that I am a burn survivor. So at some point I was like, how about a nonprofit organization that has burn survivors? So I found them here in St. Louis, Burns Recovered. And I thought, like, you know what? I really, really want to give back to them so they can go to camp and they just can have a better, at least, childhood than I had, So that's what I was trying to do. And it felt more right to me because really my parents always made sure, like, you never, ever keep everything to yourself, always give back. So I did that and it felt good. And I got like more attention because of that. And then all of a sudden it became like a thing, like actually supporting women and scars and go out there. And I started like having photo shoots with people with scars. And
I saw some of those, yeah.
And then I got all in this whole journey. I kind of opened, like, I think I opened a door that I didn't even want to open or was not aware of opening.
Yeah, it wasn't in your plan.
No. Yeah. And it kind of was therapy to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was crying. I was sitting there in this camp, like a retreat camp.
And these are children? Or
they were like grown women.
Yeah, grown
so it was like a retreat for women who were burn survivors. And they were like sitting there like me, maybe sometimes not super obvious, like not in their face or not obvious. And they were sharing their stories and I just like kept crying. And I'm like, what's going on here? So my very good friend, Kenisha, actually, she's also a burn survivor. She kind of got me into all of this. Yeah. And that really, I'm like, I don't even know. And my sister, Besma, is like, she's like basically co-survivor. She's like sitting with me crying and we're like, oh my God, what's happening here? Like I thought I was confident, but no, I was not. And growing up, it was not easy. Now thinking back, I was always kind of very good at hiding it. I was twisting my leg. It never did hold me back of fashion. So I did wear whatever I want to wear, but I just made it work so not everybody saw it, especially boys. And you know how it is.
Exactly.
So I got very good at this. And this is something I recognized here, especially with my journey with Shop Siham, that I didn't really own it back then. And now this is for me, like, I've never lived such an authentic life in so many ways, just to own my scars. So
exactly. And I think that, and that's one of the things that I think that younger people in general is like, your flaws are some of the most perfect things about you. And it's like, you know, that's something that now with social media, and if social media was around when you were younger, I think of that, like we kind of grew up, I'm 28 and I kind of grew up and social media was there, but now you have these like high school kids like posting on social media and they're like in other cities and countries and their life looks so much better. Like, oh, their life looks so much better than my life. So like now I'm sad or now I'm depressed. But like when you're growing up, you really only, and me too, it's like I knew what was going on around me within like the neighborhood and that was it.
That's it. Yeah.
So we weren't exposed to so much information. And I love social media because we can connect with so many people. But I also miss the days where you didn't worry about the Joneses and what they were up to and what your other friend was up to, or, oh, that girl's going on a vacation with her boyfriend and they're on the beach and I'm working with my parents at the farm or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter, but it's like you're always greener. The grass is always greener where you water it. And if you water your grass here, and that's the thing is, you know, and that's one thing that I hope to take away. My wife's a high school teacher and like she sees these high school kids. There's like, I'm not saying there's no reason for kids to be sad, but like, I don't remember being that sad when I was a kid compared to some of the stories that I hear now. But that's just could be perspective. We're hearing the stories.
No, I totally agree.
And now you're hearing all these stories from these burn victims that may have had it way worse than you. And you're like, wow, like I didn't realize that. You know, I was like trying to hide this, or I was trying to, now I'm embracing this. And now it's been a big part of your business. So I think that that's awesome. But I want to talk to you about entrepreneurship because do you come from a family of entrepreneurs?
A little bit, but my
Yeah.
parents were immigrants, so
Yeah.
but my dad always had like this his own business then at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit, I would say, not much, but a little bit.
So what does it mean to be an entrepreneur in the United States? Because that's like a crazy feat for some of your family members to say is like, oh my gosh, like my cousin, my daughter, my niece, my whatever has a business, a fashion business in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us about that, what that means, because when you really think about it that way, it's a lot bigger than what you think.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Like when you're in it, you feel like, oh,
It's just my little like side thing. It's like, no, it's a real thing.
You don't really take yourself serious.
Yeah.
You don't think you're doing anything big. But like you're right. Like especially, I would say even especially in North Africa, like Morocco, Tunisia, my family, they think their mind is blown. They're like, you in America running a business, you superstar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, it's
like,
not
no.
like this. No, it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I'm very, very grateful. And what I've really have learned and embraced is really being in the moment a lot. That was hard for me in the beginning with starting a business and, having all these hats on, or, I'm just really trying hard to be in the moment and share and give back as much as I can. And really, I would say my business for me personally, it's not really about the money. It's really about the people, to get people together.
Yeah.
And especially women with scars feeling that they belong and they are beautiful. And sometimes even like growing up as an immigrant and now again being immigrant, I had to deal with that too, like emotionally, especially since I'm a mom. Because when I was a kid, and grew up, I felt like so bad for myself that I didn't have a mom who was fluent in language and was like behind everything in school. Like, what are you doing? Or involved in PTO or so involved mom. Like I was always envious of the girls in Germany, the German girls, the perfect blonde girls, all of this. And I always wanted to be one of those moms. So that's why I became super good in German. Like my German is perfect, like grammar, perfect, school degree, all of it. I knew everything. I knew my way around. I was like, when I'm a mom, I will be involved, all of this. And then look at me. I come here, move to St. Louis, become a mom in a different country again. I'm like reliving the story.
Yeah.
So that makes me really emotional.
Well, you can
sometimes.
still do that. You will do that.
I know. I will.
When they're in school.
But
You got
it
1
is
year left and
triggering.
she'll be in kindergarten.
I know. And my husband is, thank goodness, also American. So if I don't know anything, so I can at least ask him and his family, and they're very good at things like this. But it does trigger me sometimes if I don't understand a word or something. So that's why I'm always asking a lot.
Yeah.
I bet I annoy people. Like,
Asking
what does that
a lot
mean?
of questions, and one of the other things I read about you is you're a big networker. So you're meeting other groups. So is it Little Black Book? Is that the group that you're super involved with?
Yes.
And so tell me how that helps you personally, but also I'm sure it helps your business as well too.
Yes. So I'm a member also of Babes in Business. I think you heard of them.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of those. They have great networking parties, events. I'm also like Little Black Book. Love them. Like really, it gives you like a family feeling even. Like everybody supports everyone, but it's also not like a pressure thing. Like they don't like keep track on you. Oh, you didn't recommend someone. Yeah. And I would never actually. I really, if I recommend somebody, I recommend them because I believe in them. So amazing. They have meetings once a month, like actually twice a month. Like one is Coffee and Connect. Everybody can actually come and go there and just check it out, see how they feel. And then you have a members only meeting too. And you just kind of hang out, support each other, learn how to they have different groups. They have mom groups. They have book clubs. They have speaking, like if you're like public speaker or something, like groups for that. Like it's just amazing. This community.
Yeah, and it's all local, all women.
All local, all
Crazy.
women.
It's
and
crazy to have stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, it is so helpful.
People take that for granted, you know, to have community and to have people, because I've been a business owner for 5 years now, and I've been in networking groups, and like it's sometimes transactional. Yeah. It's like, Luke, you didn't refer Tony the roofer for this job, so that like if you get another strike, you can't be in the group. Or I'm like, whoa, this is like Mean Girls Club.
Yeah, exactly. I just heard of this, and I think that's why I said like you don't get like
which
punished.
I think that you should promote and you should push, but like really it's you guys pay the membership to learn. You don't expect a return on investment on everything. You know, every woman there is not going to buy your stuff. It's just, hey, I have a party that I'm going to. Like I think that I want you to make me something, or hey, do you have anything in stock that would fit this? So if you know Tecovas, you know that they make some of the best and most comfortable Western boots around. But what you might not know is that Tecovas has a store right here in St. Louis at Plaza Frontneck. Stop into their store and you'll find the finest handmade cowboy boots, jeans, belts, cowboy hats, and even apparel for both men and women. While you shop, enjoy complimentary drinks, boot shines, custom hat and boot branding, and more. Come visit the Tecovas store at Plaza Frontneck and let them help you find your new favorite pair of boots or your first pair of boots ever. Tecovas, don't go gently. Let's talk about your shop a little bit. So tell us about, I'm looking at your website, it's huge. I mean, you got tops, bottoms, dresses, sets, shoes, sales, image coaching. Crazy. You got all this crazy stuff on here. So, you know, here you are like really showing, you know, people pictures, you know, of like different fits and different things like that of what people are doing. But tell us about your product line. What did you start out with? What products do you carry? What are some of your favorite things that you do? And kind of tell us how that's evolved into this big, you know, website that has all these different things on it.
Yes. Like I said, in the beginning, very innocent, started bringing European inspired fashion to St. Louis. That's also like what you see at Shop Siham at the regular store. Yeah. And then I started with image coaching because more and more people asked me like, hey, can you style me for a certain event, or maybe just like kind of coaching, hey, Sisi, I'm going to this dinner and I don't know what to wear, how to behave, what should I do with my coat? Like really questions where you think like, interesting actually. Yeah. What do I do with my coat when I walk in a interview or like a very, very important meeting? So all those little things, eye contact, how to shake hands, all of those. So I started also like, let's do it. And it became actually a thing. And I got like more clients in that, and also just styling, color analysis.
You love doing that because then you can really just like, and then you get to talk to them after. How'd it go?
Exactly.
You're
it's
texting
like your
them like, hey,
like
did you get the job?
Exactly.
Did you get a second date?
Exactly. It's like my problem. Like the people thing is my favorite part, to be honest. So that makes it so much fun. Also like color analysis or body shape, like helping people with something so simple that maybe just takes 5 minutes to figure out, but completely changes their like whole life, like choosing the right colors to look just beautiful. And for me, it's not like, you should be wearing this and you look good and like superficial. No, I really feel and believe in if you look good, you just like act good, you just like be your best version. And that just leads to so many good things that you do in life. So that's why I feel like it's so important to look good or wear right things that fit you, your personality. All of this comes together, I feel like.
Well, it speaks to people, you know, and like this dress like right now, it makes you feel happy and makes you feel like summer, which it's hot out today.
Exactly.
And, you know, I'm looking at this when you went on, I think you went on for the Valentine's Day thing on the news. Were you on the news? Yeah. So you're wearing hearts on the, you know, for Valentine's Day. And really it's just this full circle, more of a lifestyle of your brand. And it
became more and more the lifestyle. People started, women started reaching out to me, wanting to be part of the community. Also modeling. Like I love that. Like girls, so many girls reach out, hey, can I model for you? I'm like, please, because that's exactly what I want. I want all type of women, and like, you know, I just want to have a pot of women who are like happy and together and feel beautiful together. So that's what we do. So that came also along with that. And then the Misaggio brand, where I finally was able to design myself. I'm still kind of in the process with getting better manufacturer connections. That's why I'm going to Morocco to meet some people there, because I would love to also support the Moroccan woman. You know, getting that part also a little bit. And
so that's your own stuff, the shirt that
the
you gave us
Misaggio
today.
is all my own stuff.
So some of these are denim sets, some of these are the Sisi top, the little crooked one. I like that.
My favorite.
Are you wearing the dress, the SAS dress?
Yes.
Is that what that is? Okay. The jumper. So yeah, it's really fun. So you did all these photos too. So you guys book out a studio and you have photo shoots.
We do all of it. We do all of it, like social media.
So you keep a lot of this in stock. So how do you balance that? Because that's another part of the business. It's not just selling good products. It's how much do you have to buy? And sometimes you lose money. And sometimes you have a truck full of stuff that you're like, okay, girls, you got to get rid of some stuff. It's out of season. Who wants stuff?
Please just get it.
Sale.
Sale.
So tell us about like that, because like coming from working from these other jobs that you've had, this is a different one where you're actually, you're investing in yourself all the time too. So a lot of people don't realize, they think that you start a business, like you mentioned your family from North Africa. They see your website and they think that you're a millionaire.
Exactly.
But you're like, guys, like, to be honest, like I've only had one order this week, or
Yeah.
only had 3 orders this
Exactly,
week.
yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't even pay for my inventory, my Shopify site, whatever sites that you have, like everything adds up.
Yeah.
So like, tell us about like some of those struggles of business. So how long have you been in business?
A year.
A year.
Yeah, not even that long.
Not even that long. Tell us about some of those struggles of like purchasing, like, and different things like that you go through that you can share with other people.
Oh yeah. So one big mistake, or maybe not big mistake, because we learn from everything, right? So in the beginning, I was like super naive, thinking I will open the store and I will buy everything. And I went to Magic in Vegas and I went shopping and like saw all these European stores, and I kind of felt in this trap, like, okay, I need clothes, all of kind of clothes, right? Sets, and I need shoes, and I need jeans, and I need white shirts, and I need a belt, like all those things.
You
like
wanted to be everything for everyone.
everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And because I was like, oh, I'm a store, they should be able maybe to have basics, like just white, simple t-shirts, jeans,
Socks.
shoes. Yeah. Yeah. I even went to a guy, like, can I design my own? Like all of it.
Yeah.
And I panicked and I was like, I need everything. So I spent a lot of money on that, which I should have probably saved. So whoever listens, probably save your money on that. Opened the store, was super excited, spent so much money on marketing on the back and like photo shoots. You spend so much money on photo shoots too, and clothes get like broken from photo shoots, so you lose that. Grand opening, all this, and I was just kind of like, so yes, now like grand opening, now everybody will go online and my store will just like boom, people like boom, boom, order. Now it didn't really happen, so I got like very depressed about it. I'm like, why is nobody buying anything? Like. And then I actually found out that the best way to go is being a vendor. So I have to get my name out there. Otherwise, nobody knows.
Nobody knows your website. They have to go to your website, and they have to trust you before they buy something.
And nobody sits there and like, oh, let's Google Shop Siham. Like, so very naive. So I started being a vendor everywhere. Babes in Business was a big part for me too. Like helped me a lot.
I think I saw you at the Market Off Market downtown.
Yes,
too.
Market Off Market. Oh yeah,
Women's
all
Creative
of them.
Markets.
Yes, the Women's Creative. Yeah. Also a great group for everyone to be involved in. Yeah. Very sweet, really sweet people. So I started like being a vendor everywhere where I could, like, because I just knew this is the only way.
You bring a van full, truck full of stuff, hang up racks,
so exhausting.
break it down at night. All day, your husband's out there working with you, helping
exactly.
you.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're like, man, I need staff. I need help.
I'm like, I didn't even know I have to do all of this. Like, what did I start? And then like with kids also, like managing all the, the back end. Who's watching the kids? I don't want to bring my kids when it's like 90 degrees out there or whatever.
And they don't want to sit there all day.
Oh no, yeah. And so managing all this, I would probably not buy so much in the beginning. Networking, go out, like show your face everywhere. So I recognize basically vendor is the thing to go for as much as possible, just to get also business in, like to get my inventory going, network with people. I met so many amazing people here in St. Louis. I've my mind is blowing really because they're so sweet. Also like became friends like with so many people. It's just amazing. It's a great. I feel like the small business owners here in St. Louis, they're just amazing. All of them. It's like,
it's unique.
It is, yeah.
It's unique how, because like technically some of these people are your competitors. And it's like, how can we work together? Like a lot of people, and May's Night Market was another one that's coming up, the vintage market, the May's one. But like, she's like, she brings in 40 other vintage people, even though she's a vintage market.
That's great.
And it's like, hey, like maybe you don't have the jacket. There's only ones of these. It's like not like we have 100 of these things. It's like, hey, I only have 5 of these. And we met a lot of like local boutiques. So like brick and mortar, is that something that like an all day shop that you want to pursue and that you are pursuing? No.
Not at all, actually.
No, it's not a goal of yours.
It's not. Yeah. I know it sounds strange because a lot of people actually ask me, but I'm not a big fan of retail, like being myself in retail. I also like have to travel so much because also of my family, because my dad is getting older. I just don't. I don't feel like I
commit to that.
No, I feel like I don't want to commit.
All the time.
Yes, and also like this. Getting the rent in every month and all this. I kind of love the people thing, the community thing, like designing my own. Hopefully, I will get to the point where I just carry my small collection and also like a capsule wardrobe. having my coaching business and just helping women find a community when if they have
So
scars.
it's beyond just the clothes. The clothes is just one aspect of it. And you have
Exactly.
all these other brands of things that you carry, but you mentioned your own brand. Tell me about the name. We have a new shirt, so I'll show the screen. So tell me about the name and like what that means to actually have your own brand. Was that a vision for you to have this?
Yeah, I was hoping for that, but I didn't know that it could be so misaggio, complicated, like really to find the right people.
It's got like some nice little shoulder pads on it. It's not just like a tank, but it's actually like, this is kind of like a cool, you could wear this like and dress it up nice, but you could also go work out in this.
Look at you.
Yeah, you could also go work out in this.
You fashionista.
You could throw some yoga pants on, but you could also throw like some jeans and some fun sneakers on.
Yeah, exactly. You can dress it up, dress it down. It's super cute. I can't wait for her to wear it.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Yeah. So it's called Misaggio, which means like me for Mia, my daughter, Sa for Sammy, my son, and Joe for my husband. Because without them, I would be nothing.
Luckily, everybody's name is so short, so you can have still a short name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is another thing that I'm working on. This is Maghrebian gems. So if you go on the website, it talks a little bit about my heritage and my roots and my mom growing up really forcing us to do this every Sunday, like scrubbing our skin. You gotta be clean and like all those things. It's just funny when you get older and you start appreciating the things that you hated the most as a child.
Because now you're telling your kids to do the same thing.
Exactly.
You're going to be clean. You're going to take care of your skin because it matters.
Right? And then I just start embracing my roots and being, like I said, like most authentic self.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to share this Maghrebian gems, which is like, I don't know, probably you heard of argan oil, which is like one of the best oils in the world. And just the Moroccan women in Morocco have the right to do the argan oil. And this is where I'm going this summer to get more of this, the keys, like a natural lipstick, eyeliner, or like there's like things
that these women make, and it's all like just independent small women companies, and they ship it all over the world now.
Exactly, and it's also like Berber. I don't know if you heard of this. Like Amazigh is like the natives of that area. So my grandparents are from there. Yes, Morocco and Tunisia. I called it Maghrebian because the whole area in North Africa is called Maghrebian, or Maghreb. I just made Maghrebian.
There's so many makers and creative people out there.
Oh yeah, like the Berber rugs.
Yeah,
like they make them. Like it's such a like 1001 night, whatever you call it in English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like really you get that vibe, and I want to get that over here, and also this natural stuff, and it will be very exclusive because obviously I cannot always get it. I will have to be traveling for that, or
you have to pick it up and then bring it home with you.
Exactly, I will pick it up, bring it home, or my mom will bring it. So it will be very like, that's why I also called it the gems, because it will be very special.
Northern Africa, like Moroccan culture, and like is just so like it's so fun. The things like the designs that they have, and like even the food and everything is so good.
Big foodie, yeah.
Are you a big foodie?
Oh.
What's your favorite restaurants in St. Louis right now?
Right now, I would say maybe Akar.
Yeah. What kind of food is that? I know it's Asian infusion.
It's Asian infusion, yeah. Like I think Indonesian even a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very nice spot in Clayton.
It is.
That's an underrated spot. People don't talk about that place that much. They're starting to.
Yeah, I love Clayton. I feel like maybe I feel like more home. Like whenever I go to Clayton, I pick up on the European scene. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah. But I love Noto. Have you heard of Noto?
St. Charles.
Yes, because that's where I kind of live. Yeah. And I'm so happy. I'm like, oh my goodness, like all self-made. Yeah, they have this new one.
Is that where you guys go? I heard it's hard to get a reservation there.
It is hard. It is hard, but
you have to plan for it. You're like, hey, we're going on date night in a month.
Oh yeah, like my husband knows, like birthday dinner, anniversary. He's not into fancy or expensive stuff. He's a very humble guy, but he knows, like, okay, today I have to do this. I have to take her out.
I'm a huge foodie, but yeah, Noto is something that's on our bucket list that we got to check off. I'm from that area too, so I grew up over in Dardenne Prairie.
Oh, so I know that.
Right in Lake St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, my husband's family lives there. So
Lake St. Louis, St. Charles County.
Oh, cool.
My sister lives in St. Peters, which is right over there. So I know the area pretty well. But the guy I had on last week of the podcast was talking about Noto too. And he's like, it's the best place in St. Louis. He said it's the best Italian food. He's like, I'm Italian. My grandma cooks Italian food, but he's like, all these places on the hill are amazing. They do great food, but this is the best Italian food in St. Louis.
See, I think so too, because me growing up in Munich, it's very close to Italy. So I'm very familiar with Italian food. And whenever people tell me the hill, I go there and it's good.
Thing to Italy, though. They said it's the most authentic.
The hill, you think?
No,
the Noto, yes.
They said they're flying in materials from there.
Exactly.
They're getting their basil from there. They're getting everything.
Everything. So I feel like the hill is very good, but it is like American Italian, I would say.
Yeah.
And the Noto, this is like the first time that I was sitting there thinking like, this really feels like Italian food. It's all made from scratch. They, like you said, they import everything from Italy. It's and also the menu is not overwhelming. Sometimes I get overwhelmed if I go to restaurants and they have all the stuff. I'm like, there's no way you can do all of it good.
Try Esca. Esca is a new spot by Ben Parimba. Ben Parimba had a Moroccan restaurant because his mom's Moroccan.
Yeah, there was a Tower Grove or not?
Yeah, he had Olio. Olio was the Israeli restaurant.
Oh my god! You have to tell me. I need a Moroccan restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm like craving it so much. My mom is right now here, so my parents are here, so they cook the whole time. But like there was a one in Tower Grove that I know, the Moroccan restaurant, and it closed with COVID.
Yeah,
and I was so upset
about
that.
Well, yeah, there might be a couple, but it is a very like small Moroccan group of people in this city.
What?
Is there a lot?
Where are my Moroccan people?
Where are they?
Reach out. Where are they? I don't know where they are because I've never actually met a Moroccan in.
There is like St. Louis is actually very diverse. Like when you go out to these markets, not as much in St. Charles and stuff like that, but when you go to like Tower Grove and all these different markets, or South Grand has all these different grocery stores and stuff like that. So I want to talk about STL bucket list. We already talked about a car. We talked about Noto. What are some spots that people need to check off their bucket list here that you love in St. Louis? This could be anything. This could be food. This could be parks. This could be events. This could be shops. This could be other businesses, other people that do the same thing. So yeah, tell me about some of your faves.
Okay. Do you have time?
Yes, I have as much time as you need.
So first of all, the Festival of Nations.
Yeah.
Tower Grove. That's one of my favorites because I just, I'm a foodie and I love ethnic food especially. So I can just keep going and trying this.
It's so busy now.
I know.
You should be there. You should be a vendor there.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah,
I think
they can do vendors. I'll send you some on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you should, because I think you can be a vendor to sell stuff there.
Oh, yeah. So I can take all the money I make and go spend it
give
on
it
food.
back to the food.
Yes, exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So that's something I love. I love, this is not food, but it's Yarncom. Have you heard of Yarncom? It's a yarn store. Creve Coeur, actually, not that far from here. And the owner is just wonderful, Heather. And I just love it because she makes yarn cool again. It's not this typical, although I don't want to have anything to do with it. She's just making it fun, colorful. So this is something I really love and enjoy going there. I do love the new owner of the Selfie Room. She is all about like getting people together, making it also more about the community and not just a business.
Yeah. Selfie Room's fun. That's on Washington Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's so good. Oh. I just, it's beautiful there. Then I love Medina, actually. Have you heard of Medina? Also Washington Avenue, this little bistro.
Grill. Yeah, the grill.
They're
Bistro
good too.
Bar and Grill. Yep.
House of Pain, my gym.
Okay. Which one do you go to? Chesterfield now?
Chesterfield, yeah.
District
now they just have that's the only one left.
I just saw that the other day.
It's so cool.
Oh, that's the only one left.
Yes.
They moved the one from
They moved,
Maryland.
made it bigger, and it's way bigger.
Yeah.
But
you're at House
the
of Pain, that's where all the beef heads are at.
See, this is what everybody thinks.
It's not?
And that's, it's kind of like a little secret. Like when you become a member, you feel like really family. Yeah. Everyone knows each other, help, support. Wow.
Yeah. So it's not all big bodybuilders there.
No, not at all. Not at all. And really, all people.
I love Joe, the owner, I think.
Yeah, Joe.
We did a feature on them a couple years back, and it was like really cool. We went out to their Maryland Heights one, and they were like, no phones. Because you go to the gym now, and like people are just sitting there on their phones, and they're like, yo, I need that equipment.
He's like, Panera is across the road or something. Yeah, I love that about him. Joe and
because
Tennille,
it's business. It's like, hey, let's get here, let's work out, let's get it done, and let's go. Let other people use the stuff.
Yeah. And also help you kind of. Like, hey, what do you want to achieve? Like, you should do this. Or like, you just work out, and somebody says like, oh, you should maybe do it like that way. And I'm like, okay, thank you, personal trainer.
House Pain's so cool to have like a gym like that that's local. It's crazy because it's so big. And I know Club Fitness is local, but it feels so much bigger because there's like 50 of them now.
So many, yes. It's more unique to go there.
So that's your bucket list gym. What about, you said date night, so Noto, a car. Are there any other date night spots? Or
maybe a winery or so, even if I'm not a big drinker, but wine. I just love this atmosphere.
Wine gardens.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like home too.
Yeah.
Like being in the vineyards.
Yeah, I feel like everything that feels home to me, like European or Moroccan or something, like everything with atmosphere. Yeah. And I wish I can check out even more. Like every time I go to a restaurant when it's a little bit darker, maybe that's why I like Alcar and Noto. They're like, the light is dimmed. And I just think
it's romantic.
Yeah.
And it feels like a vibe. Like you're like, hey, I'm paying for this experience. I don't want to go to a loud spot with kids.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing a date night. I'm getting a babysitter. I want it to be worth it.
Exactly. And just the light. I feel like so many restaurants, if they just dim the light, even if it's not fancy restaurant, it would make really a difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll give you some spots to check out because I know it's hard.
I would love that.
I know it's hard when you have to get a babysitter because you're like, I only want to go to the spots I know. This was the one I was telling you about, Esca. This is that new.
Wow.
So this is coastal Mediterranean.
Exactly.
French
that's
and Italian Rivieras.
Oh, wow.
But like it's all like,
oh God.
Yeah, I was just
goodness.
there the other
Next
night.
Next date night is already planned.
Yeah, it was the other night, but it's sexy in there too.
Ooh, I love that.
But yeah, I went there for my anniversary last weekend, so that was fun. I'm going to Katie's Pizza and Pasta tonight. Katie's at her Ballpark Village one. They're doing an Italian dinner. They're flying in a winemaker from Italy.
No way.
And they're doing a 5-course Italian dinner. It's fancy.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Good for you. I'm so happy
but
for
like,
you.
yes, I mean, now that we have the baby, though, it's like, hey, I got to be strategic about
How
this.
How do you do that? Like,
we have a sitter tonight. Yeah, both of our family lives here.
That's
so her dad was over today, and then I just dropped her off at my wife's school, and then she brought her home. So it's like we're just going back and forth.
This is what you're
like
doing.
We see each other in passing. We're like, hey, babe, good to see you today. Like you're my teammate now. It's like we're part. Like we're not like it's different.
But it's so important to have a good partner for that. Yeah, your best friend, actually, because this is how you can survive all of this craziness going on.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's so crazy being a parent. So let's talk about that before we wrap. Is like, how do you balance being a mom, but also being a wife, and also being a business owner? Those are 3 different titles, and you're also a friend, and then you are in these groups. Like you have to like say yes to so many things, but you stretch yourself thin. So tell us how you balance.
Yeah, I barely sleep, but to be honest, like I'm a mom first, so that's always my motto. So if there is anything coming up and I cannot do it, thank goodness I have the luxury that I just don't have to do it, because my kids always come first. So, but if I figure the kids situation out, and I try always very good, so they are like always in the best hands, or like, with family, then I just try to be very strategic with my time. This is something I learned from my husband. He's a planner. Like, don't waste any time, like really everything, bam, bam, bam. And I kind of get like every day from 9 or 10 o'clock till 3 or 4 p.m. And this is the time I'm going crazy. I'm working and network and meet people and sell things and go to the post office to, deliver stuff. But then when I pick up my kids, then I'm a total mom. So that's what I meant earlier. This is something I really had to work hard on, to be in the moment. So whenever my kids are home, I'm a mom, in period. That's it.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Exactly. And also relationship, very important to us too, like to make our kids grow up in a household where they see how much their parents love each other and go on dates and do all those things. It's also so important.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that I can't wait to show that to my daughter. But I think that it's only been 13 weeks, but I work on my phone a lot. So like sometimes I'm sitting there and I see myself sitting there and I'm like, I got to set it down. I got to turn it off. But now I'm just being more. We had somebody on the show a couple probably years ago, and they were like, Keisha Mabry, I don't know if you met her. She's like she owns Heydays. It's like a co-working space for women. I'll have to connect you with her. But she said, like, I now work less hours, but I get more done because I know that I can't work later. Like, so when you don't have kids, it's easy to be like, oh, I'll just stay up tonight, drink coffee and do that. It's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, no,
or, I'll just stay at the office till 8 tonight. And it's like, no, you can't stay at the office till 8. So it's like now from, like you said, 9 to 3 is usually my time too. Is I'm getting 10 hours of work done in 5 hours because I'm just not letting distractions. So I'm going on do not disturb mode. It's hard because then my phone is connected to there. So I see messages and I'm like, shit,
you have to
turn this off.
Stay strong.
It's so hard to get work done. And then you get scrolling, and we work in social media. So we have all these clients on social media. We're looking, and then you just start looking at other people's stuff. And then an hour goes by. And I just call it inspiration. I'm getting inspiration.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm just getting inspiration.
I keep that one.
But yeah, it's tough, but I'm finding that balance. And you mentioned, the business, and business is important, and taking care of our family is important, but money is just a tool to spend more time with your family. So if we're able to make more money, then we're able to, put our kids in better schools or whatever it might be. But really, we just want to have enough time to spend with family. Like, I don't want to be, all these people are like, I'm going to work as hard as I can for the next 10 years so that I can be with my kids when they're older.
Right.
But like, your kids aren't going to want to hang out with you when you're older.
Why not just work less and have a little bit less and just spend
but they're
the
not going to
time?
hang out with you. You were 12 years old one time. Like, you don't want to hang out with your dad.
No.
But like when you
No.
were 5 and 6 and 7, you
Yeah.
wanted to hang out with your parents. So like
Exactly.
being there for the moments now, like you can't get that time back.
Yeah.
So
important.
that's what's so special about it. And it's cool that your mom's coming in town because that's hard too. Like our parents are both within driving distance. So
That's amazing. That's such a...
it's tough. I'm sure your mom too. She's like, I want to see my grandbabies.
Oh yes, my mom. Like we're like the big fat Greek wedding. The
Yes.
movie is just
Yeah.
because they all live in our house. So my parents, my brother. My brother just went back yesterday, but my sister too. So
Yeah.
they're all there. God bless.
Oh, they're all
my
at the house, like
husband.
the Greek wedding. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm sure your
So-
husband loves that.
God bless his heart. He does. He. That's why I say God bless his heart because I don't know if it was the other way around. I don't know. But he is like enjoying it. He's like eating all day, like having conversations. He learned German, Arabic, all of this. So it's kind of crazy.
Keeps
but
things fun. And then it's good to have your kids around their family too. And that's
learning
important.
language and all this stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you
show.
for having me.
I want to hear where people can support you, how they go to the website and stuff like that, how they can follow you guys on social media, and then just leave the audience with a little bit of motivation on what the future looks like for you. It sounds like you have a lot of exciting things coming up. So
I do. So you can find me on shopsiham.com. You can also email me there, whatever. But you can also find me on Instagram. My personal is sisi.sur, S-U-R. And the shop one is shopsiham.official. So you can always contact me personally there. Then exciting things is the Maghrebian Gems coming this fall, probably summer, fall. I will be going to Morocco, travel around, take people with me. People can even order from there. And all these exciting things about new models, new modeling shoots, burn survivors, different scars, and all those things for sure. That's pretty much it.
that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I can't
you.
wait to support your business, to wear your
thank you.
products, and catch you at one of these markets. Any markets coming up?
Actually, I'm going to be, not markets, but I'm going to be on the panel of Babes in Business. So whoever wants to come.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the STL Bucket List Show.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.